GM. Welcome everybody to Monkey Monday Spotlight, the only doctor-approved cure to the Monday blues. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. I would say I did, but I think it's tough to have a fantastic weekend with the recent market conditions. But either way, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for Monkey Monday Spotlight. I'm excited to talk to some fantastic projects. I see we got Unjust Mouse up here. Mousy, how you feeling this morning?
GM. Well, it is late evening for me, so I'm about ready to call it a night after this space. But nonetheless, doing well. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate your sacrifice, and we just brought up Maurice, the fellow co-host. Maurice, how we doing?
I'm doing well. I definitely think navigating market volatility like this takes some experience and strength and hope. But I hope to push that out here to everybody listening. And if you zoom out enough, the chart just goes up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, too, if you have your stables in Lulo like myself, you're always earning that fantastic yield. So market conditions don't matter too much. But with that being said, I think we should hop right into the show. We do have only one project, like I mentioned, which I absolutely love. Gives us some time to really deep dive into the project itself. Quick disclaimer: the Monkey DAO does not endorse any of these projects presenting today. We are simply affiliated with the monkeys themselves and like to use our platform to spotlight the amazing community members we have in the work they're doing to build out the ecosystem. That being said, I would love to pass it over to Moon Boys to start off with a quick introduction and maybe a monkey story, how you got into Monkey DAO and how your experience has been so far.
Yo, people, can you hear me?
We can.
That's a good start. So my name's Ems, founder, creative director of Moonboy Studios, currently working on our debut game, Moonboy Universe. And the introduction to Monkey DAO, pretty interesting actually. 2 years ago, London Hacker House, found some people standing outside a building, and I was like, hey, what's going on at this event? And they were like, this is the Monkey DAO meetup. And I was like, what the hell is that? A phone call. I was like, what the hell is that? And then I was like, they were like, don't worry about it. Have a drink, stick around, and just talk to people. And that is how it was for literally like probably the next 4 to 5 meetups. And that's how I first got introduced to the Monkey DAO. And then it's been kind of like so many people that I've met within the Solana ecosystem where monkeys are monkeys and have shown me just nothing but love. And yeah, I feel like that is testament to the great community. And it sounds so cheese, right? Because you're on the space, we know who's hosting the space, but like this is real. This is not cheese. I don't blow smoke up people's asses. I'm a very straight talker. But yeah, like literally, I would say probably one of the most influential communities that I've met within the Solana ecosystem to date.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. I think those IRL events have been a starting point for a lot of people. We got Breakpoint coming up, and I hear a lot of people saying they're trying to get their hands on the monkeys while they're cheap, get access to those IRL events, as well as try to avoid that pre-Breakpoint pump. I think we've seen it a few times whenever there's some type of IRL event. Monkey DAO really does do it the best. But we appreciate the kind words. I'd love to just hop into it with Moon Boy Universe. Do you want to give us a quick overview of the project for anyone that may be unfamiliar with you guys?
Yeah, sure. So Moonboy Universe is a cyber fantasy RPG built for PC, Mac, and mobile. We're also featured on the Solana DApp store. So that means that we're also going to be on the next iteration of the Saga phone. So we look forward to that as well. This is a coming of age story. You play a character, Dre, and you deal with dodgy governments, you deal with alien invasions, you find out that you've got a stronger connection to the people on the moon than you never even knew there was people on the moon. Then you find out that there's people on the moon. And then you go on some magical adventures, and that's pretty much it. So if you like RPGs like Pokemon, like RuneScape, like Final Fantasy, then you're going to see all of their DNA within Moonboy Universe, because those are some of my favorite games growing up. So here we are.
Absolutely love it. And I am a big MMORPG fan. Pokemon was, I think everyone had their time in Pokemon, and cards do an absolutely fantastic. Wish I didn't throw away my cards back in the day, but that's a side point. It sounds like this game it has a lot into it. There's a lot of different aspects of it, a lot of different areas you're trying to focus on. I do want to come back to the game, but I also saw that there were some NFTs involved. There's a native token involved. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how those incorporate into the game?
Yeah, so we've been working with Mutant Labs. Shout out to Mutant Labs to create our SPL 404 collection. And if you don't know about 404s, just put it this way: that your NFTs are directly linked to your token, and your token are directly linked to your NFT. And I just think it's a beautiful way to uplift the gaming mechanics that already exist within RPGs. I feel like it's a match made in heaven. The token itself will be part of our in-game economy. So similar to how if you were to jump onto any sort of game with any type of subscription or membership, and certain items could only be purchased in in fiat, or where members access holding the token will grant you that type of access. But because it's part of the SPL 4 ecosystem, we're also going to make sure that there's benefits for NFT holders as well. And that's pretty much it. I mean, gaming and NFTs is like one of the easiest matchups ever. So it's, yeah, I don't think it takes much more explaining than that. But yeah, I'm here to answer any questions.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate it. And I think definitely big shout out to Mutant Labs. I know we had a proposal go through Monkey DAO a little bit ago. Unfortunately, didn't pass, but I do think their tech is absolutely incredible. Definitely adds a lot of liquidity to the NFT game that we haven't seen in the past. And like you said, NFTs and gaming go together like bread and butter. And they're fantastic. We see a lot of gaming communities. Aurora is a good example that really are started out by the NFTs, and they play an important role in the overall ecosystem of the game. Are the NFTs for Moon Boys going to be characters like we often see? Are they going to be items? Are they actually usable or kind of accessible within the game in any way?
So yeah, originally when I sat down and I was thinking, yeah, it would be cool to have our NFTs and actually play those NFTs in the game, and then actually realize how many problems that actually brings up. Also, the fact that aesthetic of our game is pixel art, and pixel art is long. It is a labor of love. Like, to make something go in 8 directions, you have to redraw that thing 8 times in 8 different directions. And say if someone performs a move in a certain direction, that whole animation sequence needs to be created in that direction. Whereas with a 3D character, you make a 3D character once and it operates on a 3D environment. So all the moves only need to be created once, so to speak, right? So that's one part. So our NFTs are actually going to be part of the player profile, and I think this is, if you're used to like Clash Royale or Clash of Clans, you've got like your player profile page. This shows you all of your achievements. This shows you where you are in any current leaderboards. Eventually, when we go into like guilds and stuff like that, and then you'll be able to tweak this, customize this, and this will be like your stamp to say I'm a badass, basically, in the game, and stunt on everyone else. We will have items that are NFTs as well that are tradable in marketplaces. We do want to also link our in-game marketplace to external marketplaces, but I'm very big on keeping people within the game, making things as easy as possible to obtain within the game. I just think it's way more interesting. Yes, it's more work, but I don't care. That seamless experience is something that we've been aiming for and will continue to strive for from square one. And the dream is for any of those people that are used to playing any type of RPG, really, where you can trade peer to peer. That's the idea. I want a character to be able to walk in any environment, go up to another character and be like, "Hey, click on the character. This character's got X amount of items up for sale," and you can do a transaction right there and then, like literally in free flow. But yeah, working on it.
Love that. Love that. I mean, I definitely think that adds a lot to the overall immersion of the gaming experience. And like you said, kind of keeping everything in the game so it's easier for the users sounds like a massive plus as a whole. Going back to the game. So when you described the game, it sounded like there was a few different angles that you're looking at. There's a dodgy government, possible alien invasion. There's people on the moon you have this connection to. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this experience is going to look like for the user itself? Is this going to be kind of like a set story? Is it going to be more kind of like Skyrim, Fallout, where you can kind of have this more options over the path that you take, I guess?
No, yeah, 100%. I have a thing about making life difficult for myself. So I wanted to create a full-on open world RPG. So yes, there will be a set storyline that you can follow and progress, but also, side missions, also areas where you can get lost in the sense of like just fully immersed in, whether it's like an endless dungeon, or maybe it's going to be in the new Monkey DAO feature that we put into the game. Watch the space. Somewhere where you can like literally just spend your time and enjoy it. And then we've just implemented our multiplayer aspect of the game as well, which I think is just going to be massive. We really, really want to double down on that. And the idea from square one was to have the multiplayer be able to gain items or experience that has a direct effect on the story mode. And then the story mode has certain items that can be utilized within the multiplayer. So both of those systems feed into each other. And it means that, look, if you're a multiplayer guy and you only want to, go and play the game with your friends, do so. If you're a story mode person, you just want to like shut everyone else off and you want to just dive into story mode, do so. But then that's where the marketplace comes in, because then that becomes the beautiful link between the two different modes. And regardless whether you want to try both modes or you just want to deep dive into either or, the marketplace is your friend, because you'll be able to find everything that you need to get further in whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, I love that. I think you described it really well, how they both kind of feed into each other, and it really gives that flexibility to the user. As you said, if they want to kind of go solo, they want to just focus on this individual mission, they have that choice. And if they want to play more multiplayer and kind of leave that solo mission on the side, they can also do that. Going into the multiplayer, I think you mentioned a leaderboard in the past. How is this multiplayer system going to work? Is there going to be any type of PvP competition here?
So leaderboards have worked really, really well for us. When I first came into this ecosystem, like I had a thing where I love giving away money, and it's my whole thing is we all love money go up, right? We all love getting some value out of something, but I was like, how about let's not just give money away for free? How about we actually get people engaged, one, but you you can attain prizes and money from skill, and you literally have to be in it to win it. It's gamified, it makes it way more fun, and we have different skill levels pertaining to whatever the mission is. So if you're good at fighting, you can go into the fighting arena and you can top that leaderboard. If you want to do something more chill and you're a proper grinder, and you just want to get in there and you're just gonna, like, I don't know, you can fish in our game, for instance. You can just stack up fishing points. That's the last campaign that we ran throughout June. And stack up the points there, sell those fish to the fishermen, get your points, and stack up on the leaderboard there. Like with the multiplayer, leaderboards are going to be everything. It's just going to be automated. Every time that we have a new sponsorship or brand partnership, we'll definitely continue doing like prize pools. So even if we have a self-supporting system, so say for instance you've got two different modes, free mode and then a mode where you have to pay some sort of small fee to take part, right? Let's just say for argument's sake 0.01 soul to jump into a game, but the pot might be, I don't know, 5k for instance. So you jump into this game, if you top the leaderboard, we'll split the 5k between the top three people, and then we'll reset it either weekly, monthly, and then when we have a brand partnership we could be like, all right, well, this brand partnership is gonna sponsor this competition for 15k or 25k, whatever it may be, and go from there. That's it really. I think leaderboards. I don't know what else to say. It's literally leaderboards all the way.
Yeah, and I think adding that competitive aspect is really important. I know for me, especially, I really, I need that competitive aspect to really get into a game, and especially invite my buddies in so I can kind of one up them, have some bragging rights. I absolutely love that, and adding the incentives, like you said, for the top winners, for the top people at the leaderboard, is a great incentive, and it really gets people going. Going back into a little bit more of the specifics of what type of activities are these leaderboards going to be tracking. I know you mentioned the fishing, which sounds interesting, and I like how you are adding a variety of different areas. So it's not just this pure PvP aspect. It can also be this more grindy, chilling out, kind of hanging out type of activity like fishing. But for example, with like the fighting, what is that going to look like, or is there any other plans for those specific activities that the leaderboards will be tracking?
Yeah, so currently in the fighting arena, it's like an endless dungeon. So round after round, you have to fight various different types of aliens. You've got orange aliens that like to slap you. You've got green aliens that spit acid. You've got flame aliens that can spit fire. We're going to be adding an arena boss soon. So maybe every 10 levels, you'll fight this arena boss, and then it will gradually get harder. So when you get to level 20, it'll be harder than it was before on level 10. And we'll be tracking that the idea for the PvP aspect, my original idea was a 3-on-3 battle royale. And I don't know if we're going to keep it strictly so that it's players versus players, player versus player, and you pick. So basically, one player picks three characters, or is it going to be three players on one side, three players on the other side, or three players on each side, and you have the endless dungeon aspect with random aliens popping up as well in the middle of you trying to battle it out. And then in my head, I'm like, let's do all of them. So yeah, watch the space. We'll see.
Love it. I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of different areas you can take this into, a lot of different angles. And it sounds like you're excited to really explore all of these different options here. What does the team look like on the back end, especially with all of these very ambitious plans you have ahead?
It's solely me. I've developed this by myself for two. No, I'm joking. There's team members in here. That's what I'm just. No, sorry. Yeah, there's a team of eight. There's a team of eight behind Mean Boy Studios. And from time to time we'll get in like third party, whether it be like additional artists or additional media support or whatever is needed for the time. But yeah, there's a team of 8 strong. And we've got 2 people on our advisory board as well that we've just recently announced, which is we've got Justin Edwards that spent 10 plus years as a director of gaming for Jagex, who made RuneScape, and we've also got Jamie King, who's the co-founder of Rockstar Games. You may have heard of a small game called GTA. I know it's not very well known, but yeah, he founded that. And yeah, we're really, really excited about that. It's almost like I got put together with like 2 of probably the most impactful people from like my childhood, and now like my core advisors. And shout out to Super Team as well for bringing those opportunities together. I mean, yeah, I bought in Justin Edwards, but Jamie King was definitely via Super Team, and Michael via Super Team. So yeah, big them up as well.
That's incredible. And I mean, those are definitely some really big names there. Jagex with RuneScape, like you said, and GTA. I mean, that's been always been a very big thing, but especially in recent years. It sounds like you have a very talented, experienced team behind you. Can you tell us a little bit about more of the experience as an individual? Kind of where you got this idea, where the motivation was to become a founder and really get this game started?
Yeah, okay. I when I was 5, I picked. No, I'm joking. No, when I first came into the space, I think, like most people, I was intrigued. I ignored my friend that was trying to call me into this for like 6 months. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. What is this stuff? But then I latched on to NFTs. It was NFTs specifically because I just got it. It was like, for me, when I saw NFTs, I got it. It was like, oh, so Pokemon cards, but digital. Right. Okay. And just like Pokemon cards, you've got shinies, which have an inherent value because they're shinies, right? But then you've also got ones that are like, say, for instance, like Pikachu, because they're popular. There's another like sentimental value added onto that as well. And I think, you've probably seen that in Monkey DAO, where people will chase after certain traits. And it doesn't matter whether the price fluctuates up and down. Like, there's something about that thing that just speaks to that person's personality. So therefore they latch on. So that, for me, I got that. And then I was working for a company, long story short, because of COVID, my background's in music. Lots of shows got shut down. It kind of put everything on pause. And I was like, damn, what am I going to do with all of this equipment? And I said, okay, let me get into voice acting. Got into voice acting, ended up working for a game studio. Long story short, once again, few back and forth with the CEO. Got promoted within a very few months, got promoted to creative director, and was able to do a whole rollout for this game over the next 2 years. When I discovered NFTs, they were about 4 years into production, and they're making a AAA sci-fi. And they weren't willing to pivot at that time. So I said, right, okay, well, this feels like one of those moments. How do I describe this to you? Have you ever watched Netflix and they do these really big documentaries on people and they always say, that was the moment I knew, when I had to drop everything. I had to throw my kids into the sea. I had to abandon my parents and just follow my dream. Like literally, it was one of, don't actually do that. That was a joke. But that was literally that moment. And I just said, As Vida saying, and I kept it moving, handshake, and then started Moonboy Studios. And then I went to Yoi's house, he's in the space right now, and I had a crappy little drawing, and I said, look, this character is going to be Moonboy, and Moonboy is going to have powers, and he's going to save the world. And Yoi was like, okay, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then the rest is history, to be honest.
That's awesome. I love that story. It sounds like there's quite a path that got you here. And I'm right there with you with the NFTs, the immediate attraction to them. It just kind of made sense. And with it really connecting with your identity. You know, I know Super Simon, I know him more as his monkey than any IRL photo I may see of him. Same thing with Maurice. I think kind of goes back to that idea how people, you know, collect certain traits. And then once they find one that they like, they really just stick with it. Overall really exciting. I do want to kind of go back to again this gaming experience that it's going to be like, and I guess where you're at in the stage. You know, I think everything, there's a lot of different pieces here. What can people play right now? Is there anything coming up that is being released that people can kind of look forward to?
Yeah, no, 100%. So the gaming experience right now, you can play the main character Dre, you can fight in the arena, you can fish all day if you want, you can go around killing random enemies. We're developing a whole new area right now. We've just got multiplayer over the line, so we're testing that thoroughly before we fully release that and push that out. And I would say the stage of the game that we're at is probably what you would call an open alpha. It's still very early days, but we've always made sure that there's a playable version of the game on moonboy.io. Like always, bare minimum, there's a playable version of the game. We've got a version that we're launching on the Google Store that's coming out next, and then after that, it will be the Apple Store. And as I said, we've been available on the Solana Dap Store, and we make regular updates. And we've been available Solana Dap Store since I believe January. So yeah, we're not messing around.
That's great to hear. And I love seeing that from projects is that they have a product available before they release any NFTs or any tokens like that. And I love that that's really a main pivoting kind of ethos that you focus on is always having some type of product available so your users can test it out, have that experience, and then have the ability to make the decision if they really want to go all in and get involved. And I think also having that app available already is super exciting. It sounds like the mobile aspect of it is going to be a big focus of yours, which makes sense. I mean, I think mobile games in the recent years have been absolutely blowing up. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's going to look like on the mobile side and going along with kind of, I'm assuming there's also a PC version that maybe connects?
Yeah, so actually when we were ideating about platforms and stuff, mobile was always top of the list. Especially for me, I was like a big driver behind that, simply because unless it's like the huge titles, like the RPGs were us. So it just didn't. It just I was like, where are the good like indie RPGs? Like back in the day, like late 80s, early 90s. Like, 'cause I love playing the old school games. Like, where are they gone? They don't get the light of day, and if they do, then they're on some like emulator or PC, and they're not mobile. So for me, the game in itself is like Inception. There's the larger game, the larger world that you can explore. But then there's also, because there's so many mini games within the larger game as a whole, you can jump in when you're on the train. You can jump in, when you're traveling from, I don't know, A to B, and have a 5-10 minute go in the arena, stack up some points, and then put them to use later on down the line. And I think that was really it. It was gaming on the go, gaming, all that power in your hand. And the line that I was going with for a long while is having a world in your pocket. When you turn on a console, you know how powerful that console is. When you turn on your PC, especially if you've got like a gamer PC and a gamer setup, you know how powerful it is. But how often do we underestimate the true power of a phone? And I wanted to show that you could put a top class game in your pocket and still have that full immersive experience.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. World in your pocket. That's something I got to keep in my back pocket to pull out, because that's a fantastic saying there. And I like this idea that you're mentioning with the Inception, where you have the game, but within that game, there's a lot of different mini games and a lot of activities, a lot of exploring, as well as this marketplace that you touched on earlier, where there will be some items, there will be different kind of opportunities and advantages for holders of that token. Can you tell us a little bit about how that token is going to really be playing into this entire ecosystem? Maybe if there's any advantages to holding these NFTs and holding these tokens that you've thought out so far?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think in an ideal world, I would like holders of our NFT to be the more active players within the game, and and the opportunity for those that want to hold the token but may not have the time to maybe fully invest in a game, and you're still participating in building the game's economy, which I think is so important, not Xing a certain type of player out because they don't have the time to invest. And I think the NFTs for me is, as I said, representing your player profile. The advantages there would be something in regards to the tax, because we have to make money some way, right? So similar to like a standard marketplace where you've got some type of small market fee. We would take a fee in game for, say, like a transaction, say a small percentage, and then maybe if you're holding the NFT, you don't have to pay fees, or you have a lowered fee for a certain period of time. You might even have, say, for instance, let's like pick a number out of the sky, 1,000 tokens for completing a certain quest, right? A live quest, a multiplayer quest. For an NFT holder, it might be a 10x because you've already invested in us. Going back to what you said about making sure that there was something to put in people's hands, having a product first before we did this, like the companies and the projects that people talk about. Oh man, I wish these guys really put in the work, and I wish there was a product there. Oh man, I just aped in because my friend aped in, and now that like we are them. We have been building for 2 years. We have been building through the beer. I have invested my own money. We have proven ourselves technically and won 3 hackathons since we started this journey. We have continued to do partnerships and collaborations. Like I sat down with Super Simon when we were in Paris, and I said, like, dude, like I've got ideas, and I said there's stuff that I want to do, and I said Monkey Dow's done so much for me. I would like to do something for them, and then I can see Super Simon's face. He's like, okay, where's the ask? The ask is going to come. This guy is going to ask me for something. And I was like, no, dude, I just want to do something. I want to create something that is fun. Let's be real. Everyone needs to make money. Everyone needs to put a roof over their head. Everyone needs to put clothes on their back, and everyone needs to eat. We all know this. I'm not here saying, oh my gosh, I'm not running a charity. We all know this. But I do believe there is value in creating quality experiences. I am purely and have from square one approached this from the player side of things. And that's why it's so important that I think that we do have the advisors that we have on board, because I'm a dreamer. And dreamers need to be tamed sometimes, especially when it comes to the business aspect, like data points, like reach, like thinking about projections. And when you're talking about different regions that you want to branch into as you release the game. That's all well and good. The business side, la-ti-da, I'm with it. Don't worry, we're good. However, from the creative angle, I am fully there. I am the guy that says, wouldn't it be cool if, and actually does it. Like, I'm that dude. The guy that pisses off all the technical people like my devs when I say, let's just create some wild shit. And then they go, okay, yeah, okay, yes, we'll do that. And I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Let's make it cool. Just because. And that's, I don't know, I feel like that's very empowering, and that's a wonderful thing. And I think the more that we do this and we create these kind of like community driven, playful experiences, this is where we actually live out the meta that everyone continues to talk about, but doesn't actually do, which is actually putting products, actually creating experiences, and just figuring it out as you go along. Do you know what? We're blessed. I think everything will work out. It has so far, and I haven't been wrong yet. And my team is amazing. And like, look at opportunities, like even like this, like, dude, like honestly, I thought about this moments like this like a year ago, and they're happening now. Everything is timing. So yeah, I appreciate it.
That's fantastic. And I think everyone needs someone like you on their team that has those ideas, that are willing to really push the limits of what everyone thinks is possible there. And speaking of Simon and IRL events, I mean, he's an absolute dog. Absolutely love him. And we do have some big IRL events coming up. We have Breakpoint, for example. Do you have any plans attending that? Is Moon Boys going to have any kind of activities or activation there?
Oh, yeah, we got a booth. We be in the gamer village. I'm so gassed about this. Like, like I'm like, oh, can we move my logo slightly to the left, 2 inches higher? Like, I'm having those conversations now, guys. This is amazing. I love it. Like, yes, we have a booth. It's going to be in the gamer village. Moonboy is definitely going to be at Breakpoint and loving every second of it. I bloody love Breakpoint. I wish everyone in the world, even if they don't know nothing about crypto, could go to Breakpoint and actually see like how good events are run. And I'm not just talking about the actual conference itself and the people that you meet at the conference, but all the side events, especially the Monkey DAO events as well. Is just that's where it happens. That's where the magic happens. It really does. It really does. So I'm really, as you can probably tell, I'm looking forward to Breakpoint. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. I've been to the last two, and it's always an absolutely fantastic experience. Monkey DAO hosts some fantastic events, but there's a lot of fantastic events, and just Breakpoint as a whole, the Gamer Village, just the speakers as well, being able to see what's being built in the space is super exciting. And I know you mentioned earlier, talking about some of these IRL activations, some of these other support systems that you have. You mentioned earlier how Super Team helped you make some of your team connections. Are there any other activities or any other teams that have helped you out? How much have you leaned on Super Team, and or how much have they really helped you out there?
I think Super Team is like one of those. They're like a glue entity. So it's an entity that exists to like bring people together, and then in that there's like two separate operations. So one is to bring people together, and then through that is to like sieve out the best of the best. And then I say that to lead to my little stunt, which is basically I was like one of the first 10 members asked to join Super Team UK. So we'll just put that out there like that. So yeah, Super Team has been pivotal to the journey. I think Cap specifically is a monster at what he does. Literally, I've seen the dude like super red eyed when he hasn't slept because he's just been going for like however many days straight. Dude is a beast. And I think they've set up things for like we've even got like the weekly build stop, and then we have like build station, and we have like open days, and all of these different things, like just helping people that want to either connect or build within the space, and that's super super important. Another team I think that can't go without being mentioned is the Bonk team as well. Been like absolutely pivotal to what we've been doing. They were actually our first sponsorship, and obviously this is before Bonk was like Bonk, but it was still Bonk, but it wasn't Bonk like all caps. Like it was, and it just turned into it's one of those ones where I think when you establish connections genuinely, like you don't know who's going to be next. This is why I say to people, just respect everyone, be nice to everyone. You don't know who's going to be the next big thing in the next 3 to 6 months, and you can't climb the ladder by yourself. Like, people need to pull you up a rung at a time, and that's just how it goes. That's the way of the world, people. It's not rocket science. But yeah, big up the Bonk team, specifically Nom, specifically Mac. Um, Absolute like amazing people, and definitely like helped me out a lot in the earlier days with regards to like activations, introductions, and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's great to hear. I think that's where Solana really thrives, is the incredible support system that we have. for all existing and new builders coming into the space. And yeah, big shout out to Cap. We got a call coming up in regards to Build with Monkey DAO grants program and a grantee, possible grantee. So we're very excited about that. And yeah, Bonk as well. I mean, massive shout out there. Nam, absolute dog. He's been doing some fantastic work. Unfortunately, left Monkey DAO as CEO, but left us in the hands of a very capable Jemmy who's been absolutely killing it as well. Going back to Moon Boys, I know you mentioned the NFTs. You have the token. There's a lot being built here, and it's super exciting. How can people get involved? How can they be active in the community? And when is this launch going to be taking place?
The launch will take place as soon as we have the fuel for the rocket ship to launch all the way to the moon. How can people get involved? Try the game. You know, I could say like jump into the Discord, follow us on Twitter. Yes, do all that regular stuff, but actually try the game. Like the game is working, it's playable right now. Go and play the game and then actually give us your feedback. And then guess what? We will actually relay back to you on what we've changed since your feedback. That's what, you know, I love about the team. We invite you to give your input and we actually get back to you on that. So play the game, Moon Boy, spelled Moon and then BOI.io. Or if you've got the Saga, you can just download it on the DApp store. As I said, we'll be on Google Play Store very, very, very shortly. And yeah, jump into the Discord, follow us on X, and just stay tuned. Really and truthfully, stay tuned. And yeah, we're gonna do something special for Monkey DAO. You might have seen some. I think you posted. I think you pinned it to the top. There's some like pre-artwork there, but yeah, I'm working on something. Working in the lab.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely recommend people to check out their Discord and try out the game. I think that's one of the best parts about Web3 games and the active community is, like you said, the teams are very attentive. They're listening to feedback and they're willing to really, have a conversation with their users, with their early adopters, which you don't see anywhere else in the gaming ecosystem, anything in Web2 at least. So definitely super exciting. And if it's a game you like, then you're able to really have a role in building it as a whole. Mentioning kind of sponsorships, and you mentioned a little bit of possible partnerships coming up within the game itself, maybe a little bit of a Monkey DAO area, possibly a Bonk area. Is there anything you can share on that side of things about partnerships or upcoming events?
So I want to do something fun for Monkey DAO. I need to have a talk with Super Simon actually. Something to do with like maybe the bananas or something like that, incorporating in that. I think that would be quite cool. Or we could just keep it strictly Sol, but I mean we can catch up anytime. That's not a problem. So yeah, that's definitely in the works. That's the next like community driven, I would say, activation that we're working on. Other than that, there's something else that we're working on in the background. It's not directly to do with the game, but it's actually to do with I'm a big anime fan, and when you start the game, you'll see that just from like the little clip that we've got in the intro. Like massive anime fan, and yeah, we've recently been in talks with Rock Nation. So fingers crossed that goes across the line, and then that could be something else major to talk about. But that's still very early days. Ink has definitely not dried. The line hasn't even been created yet. But early days. But the fact that we've got the connection and we've been able to present and put something down has been pretty dope. And let's just say that there's 12 episodes per season, and we've done 2 seasons. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I think I'm saying too much. There we go.
Oh, very, very exciting. We appreciate the little alpha drop in Monday Monkey Spotlight. I think we are kind of coming to a close here on the show. It was really fantastic talking to you and really learning everything there is about Moon Boys. But I do want to pass it off to you in case there was something we may have missed or any areas you want to put a little bit more focus on before we do move on to some Monkey DAO announcements.
No, I think, look, guys, once again, look, I appreciate the time and the space. All I would ask anyone that's involved, follow us on X, jump into the Discord, say something. Don't just jump in and be silent. Actually engage. Play the game. Number one, play the game and give us some feedback. We've even got a Drip account. We've got like 12,000 followers on Drip. We haven't even dropped anything on it yet. But yeah, like guys, like as I said, be part of the journey with us. I encourage it. I implore you. Thank you.
Awesome. We appreciate you coming up, and definitely super exciting stuff. I'm going to reiterate that I highly recommend people to check out the Moon Boys Discord and try out the game. Like you said, it is available now. That's been one of their cornerstone ideas, is making sure that there is always a product available and ready for feedback, as well as in the DApp store, I believe, and coming up in the new Solana phone iteration, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited to see this NFT release and how it plays into the 404 token extension and really the ecosystem as a whole within Moon Boys. But with that being said, I think I'm going to pass it off to Unjust Mouse real quick for some Monkey DAO announcements.
Thanks, Benny, and also thank you, Moonboy, for coming on, man. I got to see you live this year at the London Hacker House. It was awesome to see and experience your energy. It was uncontrollable as you were up there on the stage, if I remember correctly. But nonetheless, super glad to hear more about your protocol, and can't wait to see the secret Monkey DAO stuff that's going to come to it too. It's super dope. Today I snuck around and tried to play it a little bit as well. But I'm going to talk real quick about Monkey DAO stuff. So if you haven't, though, definitely follow Moonboy and follow the project. 100% worth it. From there, just quickly doing some Monkey DAO updates. Mostly to say that if you are a Monkey DAO member and you're hanging around in the Discord, please 100% be sure to catch up on the latest news. We have a elected executive election happening. So if you want to do something more for the DAO and you are a Gen 2 holder, please go into the Discord and make sure to get your name in the race. That's going to be coming up very soon. That'll be happening. The voting for that will start next week. This week is all about nominations. So if you want to do more and be a more active part of Monkey DAO and being a part of the execs, then definitely get into the Discord and apply. From there, I definitely want to shout out that we have a bunch of proposals that are up. So if you're also a monkey, whether you're a Gen 2 or a Gen 3, it doesn't matter for that. Governance, at least at the first stage for Monkey DAO, does not care about what gen you own. It just cares if you read and vote up or down. Or you can obviously choose not to vote at all, because that's the great thing about governance. But as the governance exec, I highly recommend that you read up on any and all proposals that happen in Monkey DAO so that you can, be an active participant in that. Nonetheless, that's pretty much it for Monkey DAO this week. Next week, we're going to have all nominees come up and speak, along with, I think, maybe one protocol that's signed up. But, or actually, I think it's 0 protocols. I think it's just people that are signed up for being nominated into Monkey DAO. So next week's MMS will be a little bit different from this one. But nonetheless, make sure to listen in and come and join. Thanks for everyone that came today. Benny, back to you.
Thank you, Mousy. Fantastic announcement there, and definitely recommend people to throw their name in the hat for the exec candidates. I know there's a lot of dedicated, a lot of vocal monkeys in the community, and if you want to have a part in the Monkey DAO future, definitely get active there. And I'm excited for next week as well, being able to talk to all the candidates, what they have planned for Monkey DAO as a whole, Gen 2s, Gen 3s. I think overall that's going to be an exciting, bullish conversation. Some final shout outs on my part of things. If you're interested in joining Monkey Monday Spotlight as a project, as a creator, you can go into the Discord, !MMS. A form will pop up. You fill that out. The one and only Dragon Farmer will reach out to you, and we can set up a time for you to come up, bring your project, and not just projects, but also one-of-one artists, creators, whatever you're doing in the space. If you want to share it, you're more than welcome to join us here. Hang out with me, Maurice, Simon, and Unjust Mouse. Also, if you're a builder in the space, we have Build with Monkey DAO Grants program, which is in the audience right now. There's an application form in there. We prioritize open source projects, but specialize in user-facing products and services. If you are building something cool, looking for some funding, definitely recommend going to that application, filling that out. And then last but not least, we will have an announcement coming out in the next day or two, but we are looking for some fellow hosts, co-host personalities to join the Monkey Monday Spotlight team. Come up for a week, see how you like it, see how it goes. We'll be switching people in and out throughout the weeks, but overall something that if you want to be more active, if you like the Twitter spaces, if you want to talk to some of the best founders and creators in the space, reach out to either me or Simon, and we will get you in contact with the right people and set you up. But with all of that being said, I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week, same day, same time.
Make me harder, make me love vibrant, make me wanna, make me sweat, make me harder, make me love vibrant, make me wanna. Harder.